Are you feeling stuck and unfulfilled? Hey, if so, you're not alone. Humans are, by our very nature, creatures of habit. Research shows that at least 45% of our daily activities are habitual. They're performed automatically without much thought at all. Think about your morning routine, your bedtime routine, getting ready for work, even the way in which you get dressed. You move through the same steps day after day after day, not thinking about these behaviors at all. Because these rote activities, these routine behaviors occur outside of our thought process, we fail to realize how prevalent and influential these routines really are. With the use of examples from sports, business, and education, coupled with evidence from psychology and neuroscience, the book Atomic Habits explains the science and practical implications of how these tiny habits can yield huge life-altering outcomes. Within the first few chapters of the book, James introduced a few key concepts. The first key concept is the aggregation of marginal gains. Now, this idea is the foundation of the entire book. Essentially, it refers to improving 1% at a time. James emphasizes that success is a product of consistent daily habits, not by huge transformational changes. Great stuff there. Second key concept, James explores the differences between goals and systems. He concludes that systems are far more important than goals when it comes to yielding preferred outcomes. He then talks about the 4 factors of a habit loop, which include cues, cravings, response, and rewards. And then ultimately he talks about the 4 laws of behavioral change. Now these again are the motive that drive this entire book. So the 4 laws of behavioral change include make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. In regards to James's first law of behavioral change, how to make it obvious, there are a number of ways James talks about how to make a behavioral change obvious. But what resonated for me were a couple of different points. The first point was his thoughts on habit stacking. Essentially, that means introducing a new behavior into an existing routine. And what also resonated for me was his thoughts on the significance of cues, which really are drawn out from behavioral psychology, if you will. So if you're a student of psychology, James's thoughts on cues won't be new, but the way he talks about them definitely is novel for sure. Subsequently, James talks about his second law of behavioral change, which is make it attractive. Again, what resonated for me was that James details the story of Laszlo Polgar. I'm sure I'm butchering that name, but I'll try it again. It's Laszlo Polgar, who believed that with deliberate practice and the development of good habits, that a child could be a genius in any field. Laszlo's mantra was, a genius is not born, but is educated and trained. The way James Clear details this particular story of Laszlo, I found was very insightful and really illustrated his point, and the way he talks about the impact of culture or environment on behavioral change and or the establishment of habits. Really great stuff. Again, I found it very, very interesting. The third law of behavioral change is how to make it easy. So there are a few ideas that resonated for me here. What I like, James talks about the law of least effort. Again, I don't think it's new stuff, but the way he packages it, the way he talks about it, really is very, very interesting. So essentially, the law of least effort really talks about reducing the friction and priming your environment so you can achieve success when it comes to building new habits. Although common sense info, very powerful in the way that James describes it. Again, I found it quite interesting, and I think you will as well. Lastly, James expands upon his last law of behavioral change. The cardinal rule of behavioral change is what is immediately rewarded is repeated. Conversely, what is immediately punished is avoided. He also discusses the benefits of habit streaks, again, which is very thought-provoking stuff for sure. Within the book, Atomic Habits, James presents some advanced tactics of building new habits. He talks about ways to maximize your odds and playing to your strengths. Talks about the Goldilocks rules and that the humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Again, what I found interesting was that James talks about habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery reflection. And review is a process that allows you to remain conscious of your performance over time. Great pieces of knowledge that James expounds on in a realistic and common sense way. So, what are the key takeaways of this book? Well, I think there's quite a few. As James says, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. I don't think truer words have been spoken. If you are keen to achieve your goals, don't focus on the end game. Rather, focus on the system you are using. Anatomy of creating sustainable habits. Just remember the 4 laws of behavioral change. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. And make it satisfying. And remember, environment is a huge when transforming behavior and cannot be overlooked. If you want to extinguish a habit, then do the opposite. Rather than make it obvious, make it invisible. Rather than making it attractive, make the undesirable behavior unattractive. Rather than make it easy, make it difficult. And then rather than making it satisfying, make it unsatisfying. Just in closing, I just wanted to say that I found Atomic Habits to be very interesting. It's a very easy book to read. The flow of the chapters are good. Each chapter led nicely into the subsequent chapter. The layout from chapter to chapter was predictable, which was nice. James Clear's use of storytelling was very entertaining, interesting, and congruent with the points he was trying to make. Absolutely on point. Is the content of this book earth-shattering? Not so much. The concepts are not brain-surgery, but they don't need to be. The way James Clear presents or packages his ideas are clear, easily digestible, and really is what is needed to create effective habits in a very realistic way. I highly recommend this book. I think it's a great time investment. I enjoyed it, and I'm confident you will too. If you have found this review helpful, please enter Atomic Habits in the comments below. And if you have any thoughts or insights about creating effective habits, please also leave those in the comments as well. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, do all the things, and until next time, folks, focus on your grade and be indomitable. Have a great day, everyone.